and saw Colonial Dorchester State Park. Really neat historic site.
Technically, it is Colonial Dorchester State Historic Site.
Oh, okay.
Which is a mouthful.
Park. Yeah, that is a mouthful. Tell us a little bit about it. You got the sheet
I've got all the stuff. It is in the preservation of a settlist of Congregationalists from Massachusetts, where they settled in the Carolinas in kind of a crook of the Ashley River. It was a very quick trade route back and forth to, at the time, Charlestown. It was, at the time, it was 4,000 some acres, and they built a church. It was originally a settlement for this church, and the site itself now has this really cool self-guided walking tour that you can take, and every so many letters, you know, there's like A, B, C, so many ever hundreds of feet, and stop and read a little bit about what was on that site. All the lots where the homes are marked off. There's this really cool 3D map under plexiglass. When you first get there, there's little models of all the homes in the church and all the different pieces of
There's a
settlement.
A fort that they built out of tabby, which is oyster shells that were heated up in the fire and then made into concrete-like mix.
The oyster shells turned into lime in the fire, and they'd mix that, water, more oyster shells, and it made this rock-hard substance.
Yeah, so they built the fort in order to protect a magazine of gunpowder that they moved from Charleston just prior to the Revolutionary War.
And one other little side note, if you're a presidential buff, President Teddy Roosevelt visited the fort himself in 1902. So as you made this same little trek around that we did, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So we walked the footsteps of a president. So it's a nice little small day trip. I wouldn't think you're going to be there more than an hour or so.
If it's a pretty day, maybe a picnic.
Yeah.
Probably if we had thought about it, we could have brought our lunch and there was people having picnics, or people having, apparently there's some really pretty areas to have photos. We saw several different people having photos taken. Yeah. The old original brick tower that was built in 300 and some years ago, 325 years ago, is there.
Yeah, the bell tower for the church.
And it is gorgeous. There is tombstones dating back to the 1790s that are there, and there's this great little this little guided walking tour. On the front is the A to I tour that you give a little bit of description about where you are and what you're standing on or standing by. There's some open archaeological digs that are happening.
Yeah.
We have had a lot of rain recently, so they're covered, fortunately for them. And then on the back side of this little paper is about the tombstones, and so because a lot are degraded and hard to read, and they want you not to touch them or brush them off or anything, they actually have exactly what is written, what was said on the tombstone, and then any other information that they have about the people. And some kind of interesting tidbits. One of the guys had passed away. He was a physician, passed away trying to prove that yellow fever was not contagious. So he proved himself wrong, unfortunately. But so it's really neat. They've done a great job preserving it, and then also providing you with a lot of information. If you just walked around without kind of that information, I think it wouldn't have been near as interesting to us or the kids.
It's a neat little park. Thanks.